Hey guys, welcome back to the Hypixel Skyblock Flipping series, and in this series I'll be going from 50 coins to a maxed out AOTD using only auction house flipping. Now this would have been my first series on YouTube where I did a flipping from like something to something else, but I didn't finish it, and one of those main reasons why I didn't finish it was because the bazaar came out and all the items on the auction house got moved to the bazaar and you could no longer sell in the auction house. However, I'm still gonna try this. So the first thing I had to do was try to find a thing that I could flip using only 50 coins, and surprisingly that's hard to do. So I was originally going to only do 10 coins, as that's basically the lowest amount you can go for auction unless it's like a common item. However, I thought to myself, wait a minute, auctions take time to sell, there's a fee for selling them, so 50 coins was the perfect amount for this. As you can see right now, I'm trying to find the perfect price and the perfect amount of time to put this auction up for. So the Scavenger 4 book generally or usually costs around 10 to 20k, but I sold it for 1k because I needed that money and I only had like 1 to 2 hours to sell this, so if it didn't sell I was pretty much screwed and the series would end right there. So that's why I went so low. Luckily for me, as you can just see, it sold for 1k, and now I had something to actually use to flip. So now I immediately bid on a Banking 1 book and a Flipping 6 book and another one, and I kept trying to find books that were 1 cheap, 2 ending soon, and 3 no one else had actually bid for. So immediately after the auctions of these books are finished, I searched up their book prices and I sold them. And after selling these books, I had ended up with over 3,500 coins, and now it was time to look for more auctions to bid on. So now I stayed up on the Flipping 6 market, as these books were generally the best to bid on. So the reason why Flipping 6 books are so cheap and so numerous, and you could just buy them for like 20 coins, is because they're from dungeons. People do dungeons every day and they just sell it for quick profits and not get any actually. So after selling the last Bank 1 book, I look back at the auctions I've bid on, and I collected the ones that I have finished, and the ones that I've been outbid on, I rebid. So here, I could have actually outbidded the guy for the Flipping 10 book and instantly sell it for like 200k, but then I'm like, I want this series to last at least like 3 episodes, so I'm not gonna do this and just make this like a 2-episode series. So yeah. So here I am. I'm just buying Flipping 6 books that are below average price, which in my opinion is 3k. But for some reason, the second I started selling my books at 3k, people just kept on dropping them. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stop buying these books and I'm just gonna let it be and let my books sell. And of course the next day all my auctions sold, which was great. So now I've decided that I should really start looking at new items to flip, but still there's nothing really good because one, I only have 50k and I still needed a lot more than that to start flipping actual items on the auction house, as most of these are slightly overpriced. As you also just saw, both my auctions just sold, so that's another 12k for me. Also, if you paid close attention to the GUI on the right side of the screen, you would also realize that I also switched profiles during this time, as My co-op members have recently finished their exams, so they'll be back on Skyblock, and I don't want to interrupt them by making this series, as I'll take up most of the auction spaces because they also use the auction house to sell their cat flowers. So yeah, switch to another profile. So here, I made a mistake of collecting all of the auctions, which accidentally collected some of my past auctions from deleted profiles, which ended up just giving me the money on this profile, which is, I guess, accidentally profile boosting, so I had to quickly get rid of that coins or else there's gonna be problems, and I did, if you see the cut. So now, after just collecting these, I'm on 71k, and I'm basically halfway there to 150k, and now I'm still trying to find new items to bid. However, there's still nothing, so I just end up bidding on whatever books that were cheap and ending soon. So before, I made the stupid mistake of buying a Bane of Arthropods 4 book instead of a 5 or a 6 book, so I had to end up finding a Bane of Arthropods 4 book to combine into a Bane of Arthropods 5 book. If you didn't know, as combining two different books don't actually require any enchanting level or any experience, I'm going to say it's perfectly allowed for the auction house flipping, as one, you could do this on a brand new profile, so I don't see why I can't do it. So if you look closely at the book I'm just going to put up for auction, you realize there's bank 2 on it, and even with the Fit of Falling 7 and whatever enchantment it has, I'm pretty sure it's worth more than 50k. But I didn't know, so yeah. So after clicking 2 books for 65k, I'm approximately 15k away from the target, and I'm almost there. Now I just need to sell a few more books and I'll be there. So after finding out the price of each and every one of these books I have, I finally put them up for auction, and now I have to wait. And now the auctions are finally sold, so it's time we collect them, and here we go. Now we're above 150k and we have reached the goal.